Welcome to Discovering a Wonderful World. Hey friends, it's Neil from Discovering a Wonderful World, and today we're going to talk about 10 things I either made mistakes on or just went wrong with my trailer in the first 90 days. Stay tuned. So number one, when I first got the trailer, we had a sway bar hitch system put on, and you have to lock in this cotter pin and this bolt into the sway bars so they don't come out. Well, let me tell you, you ain't gonna get very far if you don't have that locked in, because of course I wasn't paying attention, I forgot, and all of a sudden I look out my side view mirror and I'm only maybe 100 feet down the road and the sway bar is all the way out to the side. Don't do that, because had there been oncoming traffic, that sway bar would have hit another car and I'd have been liable for that damage. So make sure you check those pins, make sure they're locked in place if you have a distribution hitch. Number two, so we were about 1,000 miles from home, somewhere in that range, and we stopped in Illinois. Now we're coming from Louisiana, remember, and I happened to look at the back wheel because I try to check, see what's going on, and I had checked in Mississippi. So this had to happen somewhere between northern Mississippi and southern Illinois, but 3 of my lug nuts were busted off my vehicle on one wheel. Obviously not a good situation. Could have caused my vehicle to flip over or a number of things. Anyway, we had to have the pins popped out, put in new pins, new lug nuts on them. About 3 weeks later, another one busted off. I went ahead and had all 6 replaced on that wheel, had it put back in place, and I haven't had a problem since. I don't know what the situation was or why it happened, but obviously something was wrong in the way that wheel was placed on in the first place, and it busted the lug nuts off. Anyway, we've been good ever since, and I check them all the time. Make sure you check them. Number 3, here's another situation where hurrying to do something is just not smart. If you can at all, and you will make the same mistake more than likely, because everybody gets in a rush sometimes, but that never works out well. So I have wheel chocks that I put in between my tires, and I'm going to show you those right now. There's the normal version of the wheel chock, and there's what I was able to do to the wheel chock. Don't make that mistake. The reason one of these is bent like that is because we had stopped in a spot and we were hurrying to get to another spot across the parking lot that was much more level. Except I forgot to take out the wheel chock, and the tires are holed up to that, but the wheel chock won't. And as you can see, it was all bent up. So my suggestion in this case, first of all, take your time. Secondly, make sure, like we have Anderson levelers, which are red. Some other wheel chocks are yellow. Make sure you put those in also, and put them on the same side that you're going to put in that mechanical wheel chock in between the tires. That way you'll see that red or yellow wheel chock where you might not even notice the metal ones. Anyway, just a suggestion. Hey, don't you think this would be a great time to hit that like button? I do. You might want to subscribe also. I understand some of you may have a fear of commitment, but it's not life or death. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Take a shot. Be daring. And while you're at it, hit that notification bell so you can see our next video. So here's a dealer thing. And trust me, Dealers are interesting because when you buy one of these trailers new, just do not expect them to necessarily care about you after the sale. And they're not gonna exactly tell you everything. In fact, they're not gonna tell you a lot. So be as careful as you can. It's gonna be hard to do because you're gonna be excited about the purchase. They're gonna be hurrying you. You're gonna be trying to take your time. It's difficult unless you have done this at least a time or two before. Anyway, my point in this is number 4. When I bought this RV, I bought this particular one because it said the water tank was bigger and I knew we'd be doing some boondocking. It said it was a 42-gallon water tank, which was bigger than the normal 30s that I was looking at. However, what I've found out since is in the case of this 42-gallon water tank, at about 28 gallons, you just spit out air, not water anymore. So really, what I have is a supposed 42-gallon water tank. That's a 28-gallon water tank. Now, I've heard they can reposition stuff and make it so that the pump is pumping deeper into it and get the 42 gallon, but that takes work. So right now I have a 28-gallon water tank that says it's 42 gallons. Number 5. So here's one for you. We'd had the trailer, a month and a half. There's a little wall that's between our sink and our dining table. It's really thin. I mean, it's just a piece of plywood, basically, about a 1/4 inch thick. However, this wall has now buckled, and I'm not sure how to get it back in place. So when I take this in for service, obviously, they're gonna have to figure out how to get this back in place. I have no idea why it happened, but it happened. Hey guys, here's number 7. Okay, so I was going down the road. I'm in Kansas. There's nothing in Kansas. I mean, it's a nice enough state. My father was born there, but it's pretty flat roads in western Kansas. I didn't think anything of it. We're driving down the road. All of a sudden, I get out, I look back, my lights aren't on. I'm like, why aren't my running lights on? Well, you know where you hook in the 7-way plug? Well, that had popped out and dragged the highway for, I don't know, I guess maybe 40, 50 miles. And so I had half a plug and half a wire. So, needless to say, that had to be spliced, put back together, and retaped up, put back in, and now it seems to work fine, but just a problem you don't want. So now each time when I take off, I take a little electrical tape, and even though it seems secure, I wrap a couple rounds of electrical tape around it just to make sure that that stays in place, because I don't want to pay another 130 bucks to have it spliced and put back together. Still thinking about that commitment? Come on, just do it. You can do it. At least press that like button for me. Number 7. Oh, this was fun. Okay. Where my black tank valve is placed kind of low. And so I've really got to be careful about dips in the road. And I hit one and it busted the black tank valve. Since our black tank valve is towards the back of the RV, it gives us not very much clearance. Yeah, not fun. Not fun at all. So, needless to say, it was a messy situation. I did get to a spot where I could run some water through it, make sure everything was cleaned out, take it apart, put a new flush valve in, and now it's fine again. However, at some point we may be moving that black tank valve just a little higher, a little closer to the wheel. Just be careful when you're pulling out of someplace that you don't rub that valve, because trust me, not something you want to do. I don't want to do it again. So here's number 8, guys. We were in Oklahoma. It's October. Thinking it's not going to be that cold. I looked at the weather reports. It said, well, it's going to get down to 25, high of 40. Thinking, okay, it's not a sustained period. I didn't have a full tank of water. I had about 1/3 of a tank of water. Well, it got down to like 12 degrees with a 7-degree wind chill for 36 hours. And everything froze. At least I think everything froze. Luckily, I didn't have much damage because there wasn't much water in the tank. And my black tank and gray tank, I had put antifreeze in just to make sure I'd be okay. But don't necessarily believe the weather reports when they say it's only going to be this cold, because it might get colder. Number 9. Hey, let me show you this tire.
You can see the steel belts all the way around this tire.
Okay, so obviously not a good thing. This tire lost all its tread on one side. It was my back driver's side tire. That was after about 3,000 miles, so I'm not exactly sure what caused it, whether it was just a defective tire or whether there's something wrong with the back axle. We will have that checked out when we take it in for warranty service. I haven't hit anything that should have caused that kind of damage, but I don't know. I hear axles are pretty thin on these things. So just be warned, look at your tires on a weekly basis at least, if not on a bi-weekly basis, and make sure you don't have this problem, because you don't want to be going down the road and have a tire blow out on you. That could be major damage. Just be careful. Number 10 is all those other little things that go wrong. And there's lots of them, from USB ports to a light not working correctly. When you get an RV, I don't care if it's brand new, there's going to be little things that don't necessarily work correctly all the time. And it's just a matter of either working with them or waiting until you go take it in for service and getting it fixed. Hopefully you're still under warranty. We are, so that's coming up. But even in the first 90 days, there's going to be things like USB ports that may not work. Try your best to check everything, but almost guaranteed you'll miss something on the inspection, and days later you'll figure out, hey, that doesn't work. Oh, great. That's just the way it is. That's part of RV life. So I want to thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you like, so you'll see our next video. Take care and be blessed.